Hey everybody, and welcome to Frankie's DIY Life. I'm Frankie. Today what we got is a not an upcycle, but it's a alteration. Couldn't think of that word. Anyway, it's a friend at work. She's got this pretty dress she bought, and she's sort of short like me. Well, I could hem it from the bottom right here and shorten it up, but the problem is the pockets are way down here. So in order to get the pockets up here, I have to take this up to the black part. And then that way it'll shorten it up for her. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to turn it inside out. And then it has this elastic in here. Now I got to take the elastic off first because one thing, I don't have any more black elastic. And number two is this is the size that she is. So I'm going to take that off. And then I'm going to have to cut this serging off. Can you see it? I'm going to have to cut the serging off. And then I will have two pieces. Then I can lay it up on there. And I think we measured about that much. And you know, men measuring, it's if whatever I can come up with. But I do have it pinned, so I hope I don't lose that pin. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said, I've got to get this this elastic off here first. So what I'm going to have to do is stretch it so I can get to the seam and get my seam ripper and go through there until I can get a hold of it. Okay, I've got it started. So now all I've got to do is just keep going in between there and just go all the way around until I get to the other side, and then we'll start on the cutting it off. So now what I'm doing, I'm lining this hem up at the bottom. Just put my little clips on there. What I'm fixing to do, so it don't move, I'll know it's straight down here, and then I can make it even up here for my cut across. So I've got to make sure it's even because it's a big bell bottom to the dress. So I do not want it to shift when I cut it, otherwise it's going to be a little wonky. And I don't think she's going to like to be walking lopsided so it don't look like it's uneven. So let me get it finished pinning around, clipping around. Okay, so you remember me telling you she had pockets. And so that's why if I took it down at the bottom, the pockets would still be too long for her to even reach her hands. So here's the pockets right here. So I'm in a little dilemma. The length that I need to take off is about the same length from here to here as where the pockets start and stop. So I think I only have one choice to do, and that would be to cut, instead of cutting it off here, so I don't know if I'm going to have a clean cut or not, I'm going to have to cut it off right through here first, then spread it out so it'll lay flat. And that way, then I can give it a straight cut across. Otherwise, it looks like it'll be going like a bowed. So I'm going to have to cut this off first. I'm just going to cut around this black line right here, and that way it'll free it up. It'll cut that serging off, because it would take me days to pick that serging out. But I'm just going to carefully go all the way around and cut this waistband off. See, it's coming loose. Now, I didn't want to have to take off no more than I needed to, because I don't want it to come up short on her waist. Okay, so I got that off. Now we're just going to pull the shirt top part off. So now there's her top, and here's this side. Okay, so here's something I did not foresee. I did not see this coming. So I thought when I cut that top off, this would be a straight cut. But as you can see, it's looped like that. It's got me stumped. I really don't know why. But since it is like that, I have no choice but to cut it like that and get it back on there. And what I've done is I've pulled her little pockets aside because I don't want to take the chance on cutting one of her pockets. So I'm going to measure from this pin to where this is at now. Let me go this way. Okay, so right here to here. And that is 4.5. So what I'm going to do is get my trusty soap, and I'm going to mark that. I don't think my soap's going to show up on this one. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way around. You might not can see it, but I can see it. And I am going to have to follow this line and cut it as it's showing because it definitely has a curve. You can see that right here. So I'm going to mark this, like I said, from here to here where I've got the pin. And I'm going to measure it all the way around as it goes. And that way I can get that curve back in it when I cut it. And like I said, I don't know why that's in there. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to cut straight across. So, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm going to follow the design that's already there. Okay, so here I go. I'm just following that line that I chalked out, well, soaped out rather. All right, now there's my pen. That's the measurement I was going by. And I'm going to cut it all around. Almost to the other side. Alright, so let me check this and make sure it is the same size. Ta-da! And it is. Oh, there it is. So I did good. Alright, so now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get this pleated back small enough so I can go all the way around and get this lace elastic back on. So I'm going to take it to my serging machine and I'm going to try to serge this, and maybe I can get enough pleat in it to get it back on. So let's see. Even at that, you know, it may still need to be taken up on the bottom. I don't know yet, but we're cutting this much off, and that's 4.5 inches. So that'll bring those pockets up. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, my serging machine does not like this material. It eats it up. It just dug down in my machine. I had to dig it out. So, note to self, I will not be sewing anything of this type of material on my serging machine again. But, here we go. What I'm going to have to do is manually pleat it. So, I did have to go real slow and go all the way around, and it did serge it all the way around, so I now have a straight edge. But, like I said, it wants to dig down in my feed dogs, and it gets jammed up. So, here's the back of the shirt, or the dress, rather. So, what I'm going to have to do is pin that in. So, let me find here's the back of this shirt. So, now I know the back of that shirt needs to fit. I keep saying shirt, it's not a shirt. Okay, so now I've got the center point of the back of the blouse that goes to the skirt dress. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I am going to make sure that this is going to line up great. So here is the center point that I had in my finger. And so here it is right here. And so what I'm going to do is go all the way around, pin it, and then I'm going to have to finger pleat it as I go around. So I got to get this pinned on first, and then we'll start finger pinching. Phew, it's been a minute. Anyway, I have pleated it I'll need to do one right there. All the way around. And so I've got all these pins on the inside. So I'm going to have to real carefully go across my sewing machine. And when I come to one of these, just lay what's flipping up down and sew over it and so on and so on. But that's going to be a job, especially if I don't go get a tetanus shot getting stabbed. Okay, let me give it a shot and see how it does. Okay, I have got it back on, got it back together, and now I've got to put that elastic. Oh Lord, what do I do with it? There it is. Okay, but I'm going to be honest with you. I personally will never, ever, never, ever sew on anything stretchy again in my life. I'm telling you, it wanted to go in my feed dogs and hang up, and it was just a nightmare. So I will never sew on anything stretchy again. But I was bound and determined I was going to fix this because I told her I would have it back to her by Monday. So I'm going to get this elastic right here, turn my dress inside out, pin it from side to side with, I think, this being on the side seam so you can't see it. And then I'm going to pin it like I did the other and find out where my middle, back, and side points are. And then I can stretch it and sew it on my regular sewing machine. So I'm going to get that pinned on. If you can see that or not, because it's black elastic, but I've got it on even front, back, and sides. So I'll start at the back, and then I'll just pull it, and then that way I'll know from side to back is even, and then side to side, front to front. So I've got it equally out. I just stretch it from point to point and sew. Okay, all through, all done. Got that on, got the elastic back on. I serged around it. Now, since I did take up 4 inches, take off, that means there was, as much as you go down, the wider it's getting. So, by the time I got through, I had a lot more to gather than what was originally on there. Of course, that makes sense, because you're taking off material and making it wider, so you got a lot more to pleat. But anyway, I'm done. And I think it turned out right nice. So, I'll give it to her. Listen, this is Frankie's DIY Life. I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.